Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am going to work on week 25 in my 2022 Project Life album. This was another kind of really tough week. I wasn't relishing the thought of reliving it in Project Life, but I've decided just to carry on and we'll see how we go. Now, we're kind of in the dead of winter here, so my photos were all pretty dark. There were a considerable number of them taken at night. They were all a little bit kind of muted as far as the colors went, so I decided just to roll with that. It felt like that kind of week, to be honest. I'm going to keep things really kind of muted and very, very simple. Using a stash kit. This is an older stash kit that I put together, I want to say near the start of this year, and I've only used it a couple of times. You know, colors more of my thing than neutrals, but this neutral kit kind of works perfectly with these photos, and I really love how it turned out in the end. So I've got a few cards left over in this kit, and two of them were super appropriate for this week. It's an older Ellie Edwards one that says this change is just hard, and a Studio Calico one that says what if, and they basically perfectly summed up this week for me, so I've added them in there. I will put some journaling on that change card. I just haven't quite worked out what I'm going to add onto there, so I leave that till the very end. But the rest of my layout is going to be pretty simple. I've got two 4x6 photos, but then I've got an extra 3x4 in there this week. So I trimmed out one of the Heidi Swap Honey and Spice papers. It's very hard to see here on this video, but there's a really subtle kind of circular pattern, kind of circle tiles in there, and I liked the idea of having kind of circles as a little bit of a theme for my minimal embellishment this week, because I do have one other sort of semicircle in there with my plate. And so I went and grabbed a few older stamp sets from Citrus Twist. I'm going to just play with a lot of stamps this week. I've got a bunch. I'll list them all down below in the description box for you, but I've got card phrases, it's weathering, and all the things. So I'm going to use a couple of the circles from the It's Weathering stamp set. The weather was a big theme this week. It was very cold. We had frozen pipes. It was not a good time at all. And I like that I'm going to pull out all of those circles. So a lot of this week is just going to be stamping on photos. I've already stamped on two of my 3x4 photos. I print at home on Canon Photo Glossy 2 paper, which makes stamping directly on photos super easy. This week I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black, and I'm going to use some Brilliance Moonlight White as well. And you can see it just looks really nice on this, especially on this kind of neutral themed week, just to have those really simple stamps. Now I'm going to do, these are my two circle ones. Now these circle stamps, they're hollow on the inside, so it's just a circle line, which means I want to be really careful with how I'm placing them onto my blocks to make sure they do stay circular. And to do that, I kind of like flop them on, like I don't place them on, I kind of drop them onto the blocks, or I drop them onto my desk, and just that little bit of air time gives them enough of a chance to kind of get back into their circular shape. Otherwise, if you try to place them on the block, they can become a little bit misshapen very easily. Now this one up here I stamped in the white, and I did stamp one of the little sentiments in the middle of it, which kind of got me thinking about the other circle stamp that I had stamped, and whether that I would put something into the middle of that too, just to kind of replicate that. But because this circle stamp is made with words, everything just looked a bit heavy, like it was a bit too much to put something inside it. So for now, I'm just going to leave it, but I am going to add like some of these little embellishments. So in my kit, I've got a sheet of puffy sticker hearts, my favorite. There's some wood grain ones in here, which work really nicely with this kind of neutral week. So I'm going to add that. And there are a few little enamel dots left from this Echo Park one. And the colors couldn't have been more perfect, really. They're kind of neutral, but they do have those blues in there, which I sort of started noticing there's actually quite a lot of blue in the photos, as well as them being kind of quite neutral and grey. I'm going to add a few of those little blue dots to the two circular stamps that I've added, and that's really as far as I'm going to go with the embellishment on those. Like I said, everything's going to be Very, very simple. But I decided since I already had the puffy sticker into that one, I'm going to add another couple of puffy stickers. You know, I love threes. I've kind of roughly got 3 circles on there. I'm going to roughly add 3 little hearts. Just, it makes my heart happy to have little numbers of 3s in there. And even though they're not really kind of distributed across the page as I normally would, I'm really happy with how that kind of turned out. So I've gone away, I've done my journaling. That was rough. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not going to add any embellishment to it. I don't really want to draw my eye to there. Last week I hid my journaling. This week I've got it on display, so it's a little bit raw. But I guess it's, you know, in the name of honesty, that's what I'm going with. That's how I was feeling, and that's how I was feeling when I was typing the journaling. Now, I was going to use these little craft alphas from my stash kit. I've got 2 kind of different brown alphas in here. I decided to go with the craft one just because it's a little bit warmer toned. I had enough E's, but unusually, I didn't have a W. So I've made one. I just overlapped a couple of the V's. It's not exactly the same shape, but it reads as a W, so I think I'm going to go with that. The other thing that I wanted to do was use the numbers from this, what's it called? Card Phrases This Month stamp. I really like that kind of font. It works nicely with the that I had stamped in there. So I wanted to add the numbers, but I decided I would also add the word hello. So I'm going to create one line across my title card, and I'm doing that on my ruler guide. So the word week isn't actually going to be in the middle of the card. So it was definitely easier to work out where that was going to go with the ruler guide, although you can see what I did. It tore those little paper letters all the way off. Luckily, the left and the right one managed to stay on there, so it was easy enough to kind of replace them back in. And then I can just go ahead and restamp the word hello and those numbers just with some black ink. I am going to line them up on the ruler guide as well to make sure it all stays nice and straight. But then I get this kind of really kind of graphic but simple, again, keeping with the simple theme, line all the way across my title card. I'm not going to do anything else to it in the way of embellishment. I'm not going to add any of those enamel dots or any other color. I just want to keep it simple. I realized I hadn't stamped the dates in there, so I'm just going to stamp them straight underneath. I didn't want to add a label on there. I often stamp in the labels. I love adding labels as a little embellishment, but I've got no other labels on here. I'm just going to stamp it directly underneath and kind of hope that that works out. And that's it. That's this very simple page. I mean, I've sped it up for you guys, but it definitely took me no more than 15 minutes, and I was super happy about that. I'm still a little bit behind as far as catch-up goes, but I'm just taking it 1 week at a time, and I hope you are too. Hey, thanks for watching today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, I'm going to leave a couple more videos for you. Otherwise, I'll see you again really soon. Bye!